Hi, I'm Monty McKinnon. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to tell you that we're going to give you an update today because this was a nightmare what I did here on this guitar. I've got lots to show you since we were last together, but first I want to tell you that we are in the process of putting the binding on here. You can see this, it's the dark, actually it is ebony, striped ebony that's running around there. And I have placed the piece in here so that I'm getting ready now to cut the armrest, and it will go along here like that. You'll see me do that, and I'll take the plane here and I'll start just to plane that down, but we'll get to that shortly. I don't need to do that just at this particular moment. Now, to get this particular cut in here and to get all of the purflings in here, and I want you to understand, it's really been tough for me. Here's a piece of the purfling, the green, as you can see against this white sheet of paper. This is like 0.010 of an inch thick, and it looks to me to be about 1/8 of an inch in height. So that becomes really difficult to work with, because it is so fragile, broken. There you go. So you got to be really careful how you fit this in. And so I've got this taped up in here, and I will end up cutting it this way, and we'll finish this off, not a problem. But I wanted to show you, as you'll see, cutting the purfling channels here. You'll see that on the video here in just a sec. And as I cut this, I just put this edge all along here so that it will take the Teflon, which is this piece here, and this is 62 thousandths of an inch in thickness, and I put it in here against the green. So I have two pieces of green, and I have the Teflon in between. And I gotta tell you, it's difficult with hands that shake as bad as mine do to get that in there like that on both sides. It took forever to do that. And then to get this piece cut out for here, I take this template that I made and I simply tape it on here, and then I ran the router around here like that until I took that down. You can see that in the picture here. So we did that, and then I put this in, and I put it in. I bent the two pieces of wood that I've got here, and I tightened the two pieces of wood against one another with the screws. The screws just go up against the wood, and the very fact that it's screwing in pushes along on the wood until it's nice and tight, and then I flood it with the Starbound Crazy Glue, which works so well. And then what you'll see me do here, as you just saw a minute ago, I will end up making this perfectly level here, and then we'll cover it with veneer. Yesterday I worked on this piece in here, and it's not quite right here. I can feel a little bit of an edge, and when you feel an edge, that's not good. So I ended up bending the wood for quite some time in order to piece this in here. Now think about this. I've got this binding running around here. It's halfway across the back. So I need another piece of binding, which I have right here, to fit in here and to fit perfectly tight in there, to wrap around, get the waist here so that it fits the waist in here, bring this up here, cut this on a point so that it makes a perfect join coming in on the angle right here, and I've got to put a 90-degree corner here, which means 245. So you cut this 45, you cut this on an angle to match this. And the way you do that is you take the chisel and you simply look inside the chisel until you can see the reflection, and then you turn the chisel until you see it running along this way where you want it. And then once you have that, because I'm not quite as strong as I used to be, I just use this soft hammer and I just tap this down and I cut it. Well, sure enough, it tore just a little bit. That's the bad news. The good news is I can fix that. That's not a problem. Now, for some reason, the router, when I was making the channels, gave me a little bit of a bump right in here, and I'm not happy about that. And the problem you have with something like that is you can't get in there with a file, because the file, I've got one here somewhere, the file is straight and it obviously won't bend. So you need something that's going to bend. So what I did is I walked over to the local drugstore and I bought some emery boards. An emery board is simply sandpaper on one side and sandpaper on the other. And now what I do is I just put that in there because it's cardboard. I will push it down till it's flush, and then I'm just going to work that like that. And I'm going to get that channel. Oh, it's already coming. You can see the dirt on that already. It's going to come nice and smooth. In fact, I'm going to stay on that side. Yes, it's pretty good. It's going to need more, and it's not going to need a lot more. So I'll be able to blend that in, so it will take that little bump that is in this particular channel out. And that's just part of the way it was routing, and I can't do much about that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on this section in here. Now, before we get to that, I've got something I want to talk to you about. I was talking today with Michael from Michael Builds, and he made himself an entertainment center with tiki torches and the whole 9 yards, and it's got the cooler in there for your ginger ale or whatever else you're drinking, and with ice, and it's got the drain, it's got everything. So you need to look at his video for that. Michael Builds the entertainment section. Now he's giving it away, but he's asking for a donation to Feed America, or Feeding America. And so you can go on to his channel on eBay and you can find it there, but I would suggest you go and look at what it is that he is doing here with the video first, because it's a great idea. I mean, if everybody just pitched in and sent this guy $25, he'd get to his $5,000 goal before you could blink. And at that point, with I think they said $1 feeds something like provides 10 meals. I don't know how they can do a meal for 10 cents, but anyway, it's the food bank. So they have a way of working that to work some magic. And so when you give $25, $35, $50, you're probably gonna, if you give $50, you'd feed 500 people. That's pretty good. And I know I don't live in Michigan, and it's not my particular thing, but it's his, and I want to support that, and I will support that, and I would encourage you to do the same, because that's really a worthwhile thing to do. Well, I have a lot of work to do here today, and I really need to get on with what we're working on here. And so I will end the video here. I have my English breakfast tea with me here. I'm going to have a sip of that in just a moment. Thank you for joining me. If you like it, subscribe, hit the like button if you would, and pass it on to your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.